I'm Ashley.
And I'm Sadie. We are dynamic duo. We're another Ashley Short today. Our schedules are nuts. It's been about 87 years since we've actually, at least two of us, have been together to record something. But with holidays and everything coming up, we wanted to make sure we at least got like a quick little fun episode out for you guys to hopefully help everyone navigate the holidays as it can be a stressful time, especially if you have like health, fitness, just general wellness goals. So hopefully we can get through some stuff today, some pointers, and we can all be not super fat but happy turkey eaters.
Yeah, I probably get asked this like every year. And I'm okay with that. But like the question is usually like, do you have any tips about, how to stay on track during the holidays? And I mean, just like just kind of a blanket statement. And then we can like kind of go through our list here. But I think it's important to remember that like you shouldn't have unrealistic goals for yourself over the holidays. Like, not saying you have to like completely let yourself go, but in most cases, I would argue to say that it's probably unrealistic to expect that you're going to have like significant fat loss or, I think a better realistic goal would be I want to maintain my strength and my progress over the holidays. And I think
Yeah.
that in itself is a huge win because it's pretty common that people go the other way. So just staying consistent or, I'm not going to go backwards, but I'm going to give myself grace that I'm not necessarily going to have these like huge leaps and bounds when it comes to like a person's individual journey, whether it's fat loss or um, muscular hypertrophy or whatever. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's just like talk through these, and I think they'll be helpful. Okay,
Okay.
so number one, kind of like piggybacking off of what I just said, like set some holiday minimums for yourself, but not perfection. So like not striving perfect. Oh my gosh, can't talk. Striving for perfection. So, like this could mean you're like, okay, I'm busier, but I'm still going to at least get 3 workouts in this week. Maybe it's not your 5, but it's 3. Or I'm at least going to get my protein goals. Or I'm
Yeah.
at least going to make sure I still get my 15 minutes. And this could be like on the day of. So, like, think of Thanksgiving or, like what are some minimums or non negotiables that you have? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, especially like because I think with everything going on with like holidays and everything, people set they have so much stuff going on, and it's almost like they try and do too much at all together and then end up being overwhelmed and failing just to meet like the bare minimums. So yeah, so I think that's a really good idea. Like even if it's just like, you know what, today I've got to get meal like I got to get Thanksgiving dinner ready, or I still need to get some holiday shopping done, or I've got something planned with like the kids or family, whatever it may be. So you're like, I literally don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do like, 20, 30 minutes of cardio. So like maybe your bare minimum for today is like, I'm gonna get a solid like stretching and maybe just a quick like little mindful session just to kind of get yourself in a good mood, and then the next day you'd be like, you know what, today I'm going to get 8,000 steps, 10,000, 12,000, whatever. But like yeah, just having like a little like smaller but more attainable goal, especially when it comes to like movement and stuff like that, I definitely, yeah, think will help staying on track feel less overwhelming and less like a failure if you're not able to hit, you know, a fitness goal or whatever for that day.
I agree. And I think it also kind of gets a person out of that potential all or nothing mindset. And it's really
Yeah.
easy to fall into that trap. And so maybe someone has done really good in their mind. Like we can't really say really good because that's a perception of the individual, but that person maybe has been reaching his or her goals. And then all of a sudden the holidays come and it's really easy to be like, well, forget it. Like I've already messed up, thrown in the
Hmm.
towel. and I think we're all guilty of that. I know I am. And it's taken a lot of years and a lot of like trial and error to like kind of work through that. So yeah, I do love that tip. And that kind of goes into another tip. So we'll say number two is, give yourself some grace, not excuses. There's a difference, but
Yeah.
life is busy. And, yeah, you missed a workout, but it's time to move on to the next meal and it's the next step. And I think that gets out of the pattern of, well, I messed up today. I guess I'll restart on Monday and it's only Wednesday. Like,
Right.
acknowledge that you messed up and you move on. And, and I think also looking at the positives, like Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is, like whether we like it or not, a lot of the holiday is circulated around food. And so just enjoy it. Doesn't mean you have to eat like an asshole, but like, enjoy the company. There are other things to enjoy about holidays that don't necessarily circulate around food.
Yes. Yeah. And people like forget too, like it's completely okay to say like, I don't I don't want to eat that. Or if you're really, really that worried about it, and like especially like you said, like everything's around this time kind of centered around food. It's like if it stresses you out more to eat this massive Thanksgiving meal, but you still want to enjoy the time, like it's completely okay if you want to bring chicken and have chicken instead of turkey. It's literally not the end of the world. It it's fine. Like you can have chicken and stuffing. Doesn't have to be turkey and stuffing. Or you can have turkey
Right.
and a baked potato. Like yeah, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't need to be the all or nothing. Or well, Thanksgiving is this month, so I'm just gonna throw everything out the window. Like going back to the first one, like set little attainable goals and like minimums for yourself throughout the week, and just keep on trucking. Like don't make
Yeah.
it's not that serious. Like it's just not.
Um, Okay, so number three, and I love because all of this is just like tying together. So, number three, plan your indulgences. So, this kind of means like you're not necessarily restricting, but you're kind of looking at your meals at like, and I've done this before, like, okay, what's worth it? So, like, just because all of this arrangement is food there, or just because a coworker brings cookies or whatever it may be, doesn't mean you have to sample everything. And so, like,
Right.
taking a look at like, choosing the foods that you believe are quote worth it to you. Maybe this is dessert or wine or
Mhm.
food, or maybe you do set some boundaries of, okay, I'm going to allow myself a half a piece of this and a half a piece of this, or I'm going to allow myself this and only one glass of wine, but not both. And,
Right.
learning to like skip the foods that are just kind of like blah because they're not really worth it to you. Another thing that I think is important is kind of like going in with a game plan. So, like, again, kind of setting boundaries for yourself that, okay, I'm only going to have one plate, or I'm not going to go back for a second, or you do and that's okay. Um,
Yeah.
and then I want to add to this too, and then I'll have you hop in. Um, I've always told people before too, like skip this, and this kind of goes with that, like skipping the meh foods, but also keeping in mind like the condiments, those can add up really fast too. So,
Yes.
if you're grabbing all of the stuff, maybe skipping the bread, skipping the roll, skipping the barbecue sauce, or, the dressing, some of that can really help minimize some of those added calories that can just like skyrocket before you know it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I definitely agree, especially with like the myth food. It's like it's so easy, like especially during holidays or events, stuff like that. Like all of the snack trays and the foods before the foods and all that stuff. Like it's very easy to spend, you know, the 2 to 3 hours prior to lunch or dinner, like sitting there eating 30,000, you know, cheese and crackers. Like, do you really, like in your heart of hearts, do you really need a Ritz cracker and some Colby Jack cheese? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
is that the end all be all, or would you rather have a piece of pie? I would much rather have a piece of pie than 3 hours worth of Ritz crackers and cheese.
Right.
And
Well,
that
I
that's
think
just
it's,
me, but
yeah. Well, and I think you look at it too, like what meals are quote special? Is it your
yeah,
grandma's famous mashed potatoes and gravy? Or like you said, the Ritz cracker and cheese that like you can literally have anytime you want. Like,
right,
do you really want to waste your calories just because it's sitting on a plate in front of you? And that's what I was kind of
yeah,
saying, like, just because it's there doesn't mean you have to eat it. So yeah,
right,
kind of going in
and
with a game plan and
yeah, and realizing too, it's completely okay to have food left on your plate. And that was something that I struggled with for a really long time, even when it came to like approved cheat meals or on track meals or whatever you want to call them. With my coach and stuff, it's like I when I first started, like I would feel like I had to eat literally everything because this was the only chance and the only time that I had to
yes,
gorge
oh my
myself.
gosh.
And then you feel miserable. So it's like think about all the times like Thanksgiving dinner is like just prime example because everyone is just miserable, stuffed out of their mind. And it's like, you don't have to eat everything on your plate. Like, have like just like a small scoop. If you want all the options, okay, have just a small scoop. Like, if you only have one or two bites of everything, and that's what satisfies you, then fantastic. And especially when it comes to like desserts, if there's apple pie, pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and you want all of those pies, have like a sliver of each one that would equal one piece. Or even better yet, like
Yeah,
I have kids, so like we'll get like half a piece of, the three different pies, and then we'll all share them. So it's realistically we're only having one or two bites, but it satisfies that craving of all three of those pies. So you're not having three full pieces, but you're also still satisfying that need and want for all three of those pies. And I think like people get in that, like you said before, that all or nothing, like I have to eat giant portions of all of this stuff rather than one or two bites. And if you get something, you're like, my eyes really, really want that. And then you take a bite and you're like, oh, that wasn't what I wanted. Like
yeah,
that's
like
just not
don't eat
hitting.
it.
Yeah, you don't have to finish it. It's okay. And if you're in the Midwest, just turn your plate upside down in the trash and no one's gonna know. No one's gonna know.
Yeah. Um, I started, so I will say I've historically have been pretty good about this, like almost to a fault, because I am the person that will take literally a little bit of everything. Also, the mom who always wanted to sample everybody else's plate when we went out to eat. So I would eat like a little bit of mine, but then I also want a little bit of everybody else's. And not everybody likes to share their food. So I have figured that out. Um, but it was kind of it was a good thing to some degree because I could, and this was like the same, like let's say somebody brought cookies or bars to a function. I am okay with just having a little bite to get a taste. I was never the person that now I'm going to binge on, multiple pieces. So luckily that wasn't super hard for me. Another trick that I would like to do is, the longer you sit there in front of a plate that does still have food, it's
You
like
keep
it's
picking
really
at it.
easy to keep picking at it. Yeah, just
Yes.
put a napkin over it. Either A, get up and actually throw it away and throw away the other people's plates around you, save them from picking, or just put your napkin over it, and that kind of signals to your brain like I'm done, I'm finished. And it
Yeah.
would look kind of weird if you're like picking your napkin off and now going back to town, like, so it kind of
Don't be a
it
trash
kind of
panda.
deters you a little bit. Exactly, exactly. um and then okay, so number four, I've got um, really making sure that you're starting your day out with protein. So
Yes.
no matter, if you're going to a holiday function or dinner, or maybe it's a party at night, making sure that you are hitting your protein through the day. And, that's going to help stabilize your blood sugar and minimize your cravings all day. And
Yeah.
furthermore, make sure, try to have a little snack or something before. I know it seems counterproductive, but like have a
Yep.
protein shake or a healthy small snack before you go to these gatherings so that you're not going starving. It's kind of like the rule of don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Don't
I was
go to
just gonna
these
say that.
like, yeah, like don't go to these occasions where there's gonna be all this food and then you go with like this huge appetite. Now, for some
If you
people,
visit
they save up all day for that.
yeah, like starving yourself all day.
Yeah. And then you're more likely to binge. So, that's going to help just minimize some of the extra calories. You can still go and enjoy the foods that you want to, um, but hopefully you're not going like hog wild.
Yeah, and I'm
Um,
not sure if we're gonna get to this later on the list, but another really good thing too, and it's something that I try and do, and it can be hard, like depending on your situation or what like the event is and stuff. But if you can get a workout, like in my opinion, weights would be better. But if you can get some type of like movement or activity or something like that beforehand, and then like your event food is like your, quote, post workout meal, like that's prime. Like that is really, really good because then your body's going
yeah.
to be utilizing all of that. Like it's literally gonna eat it up. And that's the goal.
And I'll build onto that with number five, saying take a short walk after big meals. So like even if
Yes.
it's just enough to mobilize the food, it helps reduce those big sugar spikes that we can get with eating. It improves digestion. It helps you sleep better. Um,
I
and
think that's just a
just
good
gets
rule
you
in
up and
general.
moving.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Um, okay, number six, the 2-for-1 hydration rule. So what that means is if you're going to have a beverage, so like a glass of wine,
Hmm.
cocktail, spiked cocoa, just make sure it's every time you're having a beverage, you're also having water. And it
Yes.
sounds really like that seems like such a simple no-brainer. But again, that's also just kind of keeping the bloating, the cravings, and just I don't know. I think it's keeping yourself in check too, and it's keeping you hydrated.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna help prevent like you feeling
Uh,
like absolute dog, dog trash the next day. Cause like you remember like when you are even just like your higher salt foods, alcoholic beverages, stuff like that, like a lot of stuff is going to dehydrate you even
carbohydrates
more.
in general.
Yeah, and and your body's not going to be used to that. So if you're not staying up on your water, you're not staying like even more so hydrated. That's where a lot of times like you feel so bad the next day. Like a lot of that has to do with just general dehydration. Like your body's just
Yes.
screaming, "Please, God, give me water and no more potatoes."
No more potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay, number seven, I should have said this earlier, but a really simple, if you're trying to manage just not going overboard on calories, doing like a plate rule, like maybe half of your plate is veggies, or like for me, I rather have half my plate protein, and then having the other half divided, into like your carbs and protein. So
Yeah.
I mean, from a caloric standpoint, you probably would want to say like half veggies, and that doesn't mean potatoes and corn. Um, like half
Or
veggies,
super
and then
thick
the
green bean
other half,
casserole.
right, right. So maybe I think personally, what I think would be helpful for others is have half of your plate a protein source. I think that's probably easier to suggest during the holidays. Like if you were going to a different type of potluck or gathering, I feel like the half veggies, a quarter protein, a quarter carbohydrates would be, more reasonable. But, when we look at the foods for Thanksgiving, particularly, I think that's going to be hard to do. So I think the
Yeah.
next best thing would be, half of your plate is protein and then your other half is divided. Try to find a vegetable source, and maybe that is your green bean casserole. And then and again, that's all personal preference. Another trick could be, if there's two different plate options, maybe one's like your normal size dinner plate and your other's more of a dessert plate. Um, if you were really wanting to be like a rock star and trying to control your calories, you could choose the smaller plate.
Yeah,
Um,
because your eyes
but it
play
doesn't count
such
if
a
you
big
just keep
role.
going back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
You can't refill a small plate 3 times and it still equal the big plate, but
right. Or a pilot 3 inches tall. So you have to like keep that in mind.
yeah.
Um,
But I think with that, like
that's
I was gonna say, like with that, um, if that's kind of like the game plan you're going with, like also, or something like I do, I guess, is I try and make sure I'm eating my protein source first because I feel like then that's also just naturally fills me up more, and then I'm way less likely to have 3 scoops of potatoes because I'm already pretty full from the turkey. So it's a lot easier to be
yes.
satisfied with those smaller portions of your sides.
And like we've said before, that's just a good across the board rule.
Mm-hmm.
Always prioritize your protein at meals, and then what you've got left, you've got your fats and your carbs.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and number eight, keeping a protein shake in the car or something, or keeping your own protein source with you. And again, that's just gonna kind of depend on the individual, but I have done this before where I bring a protein shake with me and maybe I just put it in my purse or whatever. And, I have my meal, I have my dessert. But you know how there's always like this gap of time where you're visiting, maybe you're watching ball games or you're playing games, whatever. And then it's
Yeah.
like everybody starts going back to the table or they start
Yes.
grazing back at the food. It's like you don't necessarily need a set meal, but if you do find yourself maybe having a sugar uh, plummet, gosh, I like lost my train of thought, sugar, then you have a protein shake ready to go. It's like getting good things for you, and then just stay
Yeah.
away from the table again. Like
Yeah.
you had your indulgence, you don't need to keep going back unless you want to, then that's on you, but we're trying to give tips on how to minimize some of these like unwanted calories and still enjoying your time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and then let's see.
I was gonna say,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna piggyback off like the protein shake and stuff. It's like if if you have that and you're doing that, like another good. Oh, hold on. Sorry, we're on Zoom, guys. Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, my phone did some weird stuff. So, anyway, go, going back. If you have like the protein shake, I think another really good um option with that, if you're wanting to kind of indulge in like some of the sweeter stuff, or like that in between, or like the morning, like don't forget you can also take that protein powder and you can add it to coffee or you can add it to hot cocoa and still like have like a fun, drink, but also have it be beneficial. Like that's, I think people forget that all the time. Like you can add your protein shake to other stuff and like it still tastes really good.
Yeah, I love that idea. um and especially like I'm one too, I get kind of tired of protein shakes after a hot minute. And then I'll find myself using the powder, in like Greek yogurt, or
Yeah.
I'll add it, yeah, like you said, coffee. Um, yeah, that's a good idea. It doesn't mean you have to bring like a already mixed protein shake ready to go. Just bring the powder and mix it to
Yeah.
what you want.
Yep.
Um, and let's see. So then number nine and 10, they are kind of, I would say like more psychological. So, obviously we know that the holidays for many people they can kind of, spike our cortisol, they can cause stress. Like even though it's good stress, like we love to be around family most of the time, all these like really exciting things, especially, you know, if you've got kids and all of that, but it still is a stress. And so, you know, taking even like a couple short resets, like even just a couple minutes, even if you're at a gathering and you need to like go hide out in the bathroom for a few minutes, you know, taking a couple deep, slow, controlled breaths, just kind of be mindful, have some mindfulness. Um, Maybe it's a 5 minute stretch, you know, before bed during the holidays when you just feel like you're really revved up. Or maybe it's just taking like 10 minutes every morning for like you time, quiet time. And this I am
Yeah.
like, um, I am, gosh, again, I can't think of my word. Um, I do this every morning. Like it's at least 10 or 15 minutes religious. That was the word I was looking for. I'm religious about that in the morning, holidays or not. That is really important for me to just like wake up in the morning, have my coffee. I do not get on social media um, for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I like to see how long I can go without going on social media. But I really try to do like mindfulness practices or, you know, writing in a journal or gratitude. And this has been a game changer when it comes to like my individual stress or because
Yeah.
otherwise, like you're waking up in the morning and maybe you already are doom scrolling and
You're just
something
straight into
triggers you on
chaos.
social media.
Yeah.
Yes. And then that's what starts your day. And you're already starting your day off in like this high cortisol or kind of like high alert fight or flight state.
Yes.
And so that's been really helpful for me. But you could do this during the day too. Maybe you're getting overstimulated at a gathering, especially if you're like more of an introverted person. You know, maybe you do need to just walk away. Maybe you need to take that walk after your meal, not only because it's good for your digestion and your glucose level, but just to kind of like reground yourself and think of, you know, what are you grateful for? You're grateful for your family and gathering. Um, Take some deep breaths, you know, those
Yeah.
type of things. I can vouch. I think that is really helpful.
Yeah. And like with just kind of again piggybacking off like the stress aspect of it, like you have to remember again, like we've talked about, and we keep saying like the holidays in general are just a stressful time. And like you said, your body responds to that stress. So like when you're eating some of these, not optimal foods, like your body's probably not going to utilize it the most optimally just because it is in like a more stressed state. So if you notice like there's a little bit of bloating or a little bit of inflammation or like you're just not feeling the same or like your momentum slow down a little bit, like you have to remember like you need to take more steps to help reduce that extra stress just because again holidays are stressful even if you're not intending them to be. Like if you're hosting Thanksgiving and you have everything done and like everyone's bringing dishes, you're not responsible for everything, it's still stressful. Like you're still it's just stressful. Like being around people and family, no matter how much you love them and friends and stuff like that, like it is super stimulating. It is super stressful. The kids are hopped up on sugar and pie and candy and like all of the things and you have shopping to get done and decorating and if you're a parent like you're responsible for like holiday magic, all of that stuff, and it is very easy to get just overstressed and overwhelmed and let everything fall to the wayside. So just get, like you said, giving yourself some grace to not let that happen. Don't sit there and compare your holiday pictures or your holiday plans with influencer XYZ or Pinterest mom that you follow on Instagram. Like their holidays are not your holidays, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. And like, don't punish yourself and stress out about even more if you have an extra piece of pie. At the end of the day, one or two quote bad days, like, isn't gonna be the end all be all. Like, don't use that excuse to just give up. Like, it's okay. Just keep on trucking. You're gonna be a little bloated. You might be a little inflamed and a little groggy, but like the next day, just get back on track and just keep going, and your body's amazing. Like it'll level itself back out. Like don't make that one more stress.
Yeah. And that's a really good point about, if you're already in a stress heightened state, and maybe not only was it like stress for the holidays, but maybe you've been sick or maybe you haven't been sleeping the greatest for whatever reason, you know, anytime you have any type of stress, emotional stress, that can also create more cravings and more fatigue,
Yes.
which then can cause you to have more stress. And so, um, this brings us to number 10, which is kind of what we're, leading to is creating holiday boundaries. So, saying no to events that drain you. Like you don't have to do every single thing. And like what you said, you don't have to compare yourself to other people or just because Pinterest mom did this, you don't have to go to every single event. Like, so
Mhm.
saying no, um, limiting time around stressful people. So it's kind of like that thought of like protecting your peace. Um, you don't have to be around those people. And even if those people are your family, it's still your right to create a boundary where you don't have to spend extended amounts of time. And so you have to find like what is that boundary for you individually. And then it's really important to build in that downtime. And we kind of already like touched on that a little bit, but how can you recharge? Because I tell people this all the time. If your cup, if you are pouring out of your own individual cup to, maybe your kids and your husband and your coworkers and this person and to this project, at some point your cup becomes empty. And how can you possibly fill up all the other cups of those that are important to you if you can't fill up your own? So I think we have to learn to be a bit selfish for good reason, that you
Yeah.
have to take time for yourself. Do what makes you feel good, do what makes your body feel good, so that you can be present and fill up what you need to for other people.
Right.
So yeah, we kind of
And like don't let people, guilt you or make you feel bad. Like, if whatever aunt or uncle, whatever, is sitting there giving you crap like, oh, it's just one day. It's not, you can eat that or you can have this or, I don't understand why you're doing this. It's like, one, you don't have to justify your reasonings to anyone, like, at all. Um, and it's like, you can like be as nice or, like you said, as firm on your boundary as you want. But like a lot of times I just tell people, oh, that just makes me not feel very good or, oh, that upsets my stomach or I would rather eat this instead of, you know, that. Like, or you can just say, okay, and just carry on. Like I said, you don't have to
right.
justify your eating, or you don't have to justify like why you want to go for a walk after you eat or whatever. Like you just you do you, and there's people that are going to be on board and there's people that are going to judge you, and it's just do what's best for you and like what makes you feel good through the holidays. Like, don't make being worried about what people are going to think about what your plate looks like just one more thing to stress about, because like I said, it's literally not that serious. Like it's okay. You'll be okay.
Right. And this goes for alcohol too.
Yes.
If you choose not to drink alcohol, I don't care if it's like holiday or a random Wednesday night or a weekend or even a big event where everybody's drinking alcohol. If that's not what you want to do because you don't want to, like, you don't have to justify it. And at the end of the day, let's all remember, and I'm guilty too, but alcohol is a poison to your body. And like somehow we have normalized poison in our body in the source of alcohol, but then we're very quick to demonize other things. So, bottom line is you don't have to justify your decisions. It's your body. No one else is living in your body except you.
Yes.
And that's just how it is. Um, so that, yeah, that's kind of like the end of our list. A couple things I did want to touch on, like, okay, so what happens after the holidays? I usually encourage people to not, so like, even if you didn't go crazy, like you were very controlled during your holiday indulgence, no matter how you slice it, chances are you probably had more sodium than your body's used to, and you probably
Mhm.
had more carbs than your body is used to. So you
Right.
put those things together, and it's likely you're going to have some water weight
Yeah.
because of
Which is
that's
totally
just
normal.
how it is.
Yeah.
Totally normal. So I encourage people that, and this goes the same, like, let's say you've gone on a vacation, it's same concept. Let's say it's a big weekend that you were out of your routine. Maybe you went out for the weekend or you went on a trip, whatever. I encourage people when you come back, just don't get on the scale. Like,
Right.
it's not going to be a true reflection of body fat. Chances are it will be up, but it's not going to be an accurate amount of an increase. And a lot of times, all it's going to do is get you upset. And
Yeah.
the best thing, in my opinion, that a person can do is just get back on track. Make sure you drink lots of water to kind of help flush some of that sodium and kind of help your body get back into a homeostasis state. And,
Yeah.
just get back in the gym, get back to your workouts, and give yourself about a week to normalize. And then if it's your goal or if it's your practice, then weigh yourself. I don't weigh myself hardly ever. So, like, I would weigh myself regardless. But some
Yeah.
people do. But I encourage them just hold off for that week. The other thing I
Yeah.
wanted to touch on that I didn't want to forget is if you are traveling via airplane, also keep in mind that just the fact that there's a pressure change while you're in flight can cause fluids to shift in your body. So it's really interesting because when there's that pressure change because of the cabin pressure, it can cause your fluid to kind of get shuttled out of the cells and into the tissue. So essentially, you kind of have like this puffy, just kind of swelling, but you can
Mhm.
actually be dehydrated at the same time because the fluid is not actually in the cells. On top of that, your cabin is usually very dry. So it's
Yeah.
definitely not humidified. So you're already kind of getting dehydrated. And I remember experiencing this firsthand, especially when I was competing, because, prior to a show, you're still drinking your water. And so I can remember like drinking and drinking and drinking like normal, but then almost feeling like dehydrated when flying. And I would be super puffy, even though I was using the bathroom a normal amount. It was the craziest
Yeah.
thing. So I guess the take home is, especially like if you've been traveling or vacation, you start coupling your eating, your carbs, your sodium, and then on top of that, maybe you did travel via plane. All of
Mhm.
that is going to cause some water retention. So don't beat yourself up over it. Stay off the scale. Just get back to work and drink a lot of water to help kind of get your body normalized and to catch
Yeah.
up, especially if you are in a dehydrated state.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And another like kind of random, kind of not. But like another good thing too is like and to help maybe like switch like the mind shift change or like have a different like mindset going into it. And something I try and do as much as possible and just kind of depends on again on the event location stuff like that. But if you can also plan the following day to have like a really really good weight session, again that's going to kind of go back to like if you have like a cheat meal or an on-track meal or something like that, like your body's going to take all of those extra calories and you're going to have like Superman lift session. Like,
Yes.
'cause you
Well,
just
you're
have so much
utilizing
energy
your,
and yeah.
yeah. Well, it's because you're utilizing your stored glycogen. So,
Hmm.
what your body didn't utilize the day before after your free meal, it stores it. And so then the next day, you can really have, like you're alluding to, some really awesome strength sessions because now you have kind of this stored energy that is just waiting to be released. And it's a good thing because if you don't utilize it, um, then it's more likely to be stored as fat later. And there's a lot more to it. So I don't want to make that blanket statement of, oh, if you don't work out the following day after a free meal, it's all going to go to fat. Like that is not
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Um, but it can be really good practice to,
Yeah.
yeah, have maybe your heavy leg day be the day after your untracked meal or
Yeah.
whatever,
And like
um,
make it
however
like
you're
a
utilizing meals.
yeah, and make it a fun lift. Obviously like I would recommend like a weight session. But like make it something like you're fun and you're gonna look forward to, because that's like a lot. One thing to a lot of people I see do is after like a holiday or an event or something like that, they feel like the next day they need to punish their bodies and burn off all the calories that they ate and all this other stuff. And it's like you're not gonna do 6 hours of cardio to burn off the amount of stuffing that you ate the day before. Like you're just not going to, and you're gonna do more damage and cause more stress and more inflammation and like just more negatives by doing that. So like plan like a fun gym session, like a good solid, like you said, like a good leg day, or if you're trying to build back, like a solid heavy back day or something like that, where like your body's going to utilize all of those extras, but don't make it like a punishment session. Like don't sit there and say, I'm trying to burn off all of the crap I ate the day before. Like switch it and be like, I'm gonna see how strong I am, or whatever you have to do to like frame it in your mind the next day and be like, you know, how can I utilize those calories to benefit me and not punish?
Yeah. And then also you're, really working on retraining how we talk to ourselves. And so, um, like you said, if you're beating yourself up the next day, you're recreating that belief of I messed up. I can't have a free meal without feeling bad. I can't enjoy a meal with my family. Like you're reinstilling those false beliefs. And so finding a way to retrain your thought process and be like, no, I really enjoyed my day with my family. I am proud of myself that I did not overindulge, but I did have some really great food. And now I'm ready to get back to work and get back after my goals. And
Yeah.
thank you, body, for like being strong and allowing me to do this workout. And, really like focusing on gratitude, I think can just completely change a person's entire perception.
Yeah, and it sounds super cheesy, but again, like think about it this way: when you label a food as a bad food or a food you can't have, what does your brain immediately do? Oh my God, I want that food. I have to have that food. I'm not gonna live if I don't have that food. So like it's that same exact thing. Like however you frame it in your mind, and you can quote trick your mind, like it's just gonna make it that much easier and that much more beneficial and less like negative, stressful, punishing. Like don't label, and that's another thing to like definitely don't label anything as like no goes, or oh I can't have that type of food. You can just say I don't want that type of food, or I know that three
Right.
pieces of pecan pie is going to make me feel like absolute dog trash, but I could have one piece and that's not going to make me feel bad and that's going to satisfy that craving. Like just just
Right.
reframe it and don't make it a no-go, because then your brain is just like, I must have that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like reverse psychology. The
Hmm.
moment you tell yourself you can't have it, what's your brain say?
Yep.
I need that so much. And
Yes.
it just becomes a battle that you don't need to have. So,
Yeah.
uh, I thought this was great. I think it's useful information. It's a good reminder to myself, even of, how to navigate holidays and again,
Yeah.
giving yourself some grace. So I'm glad we could do this on a really unrelated note, like unrelated. So I am driving safely and I just passed this truck that was like, waiting to like turn out. This truck had three doors. I've never seen that. I've seen like an extended cab truck, but this truck legit had three actual doors.
Like three
And then it
full
had the bed,
doors.
three full doors. And I didn't pay attention to see like what model it was or like what the
Hmm.
make even. But yeah, three actual doors. It had like, the driver's door, it had a middle door, and then it had like a end door. Weird. I might have
All
to
my
look that up later.
all my brain goes to is, oh my God, their gas mileage must be atrocious.
Oh, no joke, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, well, I'm glad we could do this. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And yeah, hope all of you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes,
And
and
hopefully, what was
get
that?
some. I was gonna say, and hopefully we can get some more episodes pushed out. Like I know we have plans, and we have a couple really awesome guests. I know that we are working to get on. It's just like we said before, our schedules are so nuts right now. That getting everything coordinated is just an absolute nightmare currently. But hopefully we can get some like even just like mini episodes or stuff like this out. Just bear with us. We're trying. We're trying.
Yeah. And reminder, I think it is helpful if you are listening and you have questions or you're like, oh, I wish they would do an episode on this topic. Please
Hmm.
message us, just through like social media
Yeah.
because, we try to like come up with things to talk about, but it's nice if we get feedback so that we're not just talking about things that no one cares about. So, and
Yes.
it's fine because if we care about it, we can talk about it. We don't care. But we do want to provide like useful information for people.
Yes.
I think, that's one of the main reasons we started this in the first place. Like, even if it just helps one person, mission accomplished.
Right. Exactly.
So keep that in mind.
Yes. So, all right.
Perfect.
Well,
Okay.
with that, thank you guys. Happy holidays. Hopefully, y'all make it through unscathed and enjoy your turkey. Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.